Welcome to another episode of The Property Expert. Today we're going to be concentrating on property management. The main topic for us today is principles of risk management. What is risk? Risk is the possibility of something bad happening at some time in the future, a situation that could be dangerous or have a bad result. So there are different types of risks. The first risk we're going to look at is pure risk. Exists when there is a chance of a loss but no chance of gain. So for example, riding a bike, a risk of collision. Speculative risk exists where there is a chance of a gain as well as a chance of a loss. So that would be building a new property development or a center in your area whereby there's a chance of profit as well as there's a chance of loss. Another type of risk is physical risk, where we deal with natural disasters, fires, political acts, structural failures, and environmental risks. In the property management space, the most important thing to know is the risk management process. There's 5 steps that one would take is to identify the risk, you measure the risk, control risk, implement risk, and monitor risk. So, first one, identification. All hazards and risks must be identified to establish what can go wrong and how it can happen. This is called a risk profile. Measure the risk. It is important to know the possible loss that your property is exposed to. So, this is essential to determine risk. Firstly, the probability of the chance that the loss will occur. Look at the impact the losses will have should they occur. And lastly, the ability to predict the losses that will actually occur. That's how you would measure risk. Thirdly, we go to control. Use suitable control measures such as avoid the risk, reduce the risk by reducing chances of occurrence or its magnitude if it occurs. Transfer the risk to another party, for example, insurance. Retain the risk, that is a risk management control. The benefits of each method must be fully assessed with its cost implications on the control measures that I've mentioned. Implementation. So implement the chosen methods that you will want to do in the risk management process. And then lastly, monitoring. Monitoring entails that in the risk management process, you implement and fully monitor the adopted method to establish its effectiveness and whether an alternative method will be more appropriate when it comes to the risk that your property is exposed to. It is important to have risk control techniques when we are looking at risk within a property. Risk control techniques includes avoidance. For example, don't build a swimming pool. That means you avoid people drowning in that property. Lose control. Sometimes you get fire sprinklers in the property to diffuse the damage. However, you also do take the loss of items in your property being wet. Separation, diversify your portfolio so you can invest in residential, industrial, and commercial property. Those are some of the things you could do as a risk control technique. Combination, so when you would take all your properties into one portfolio to get a favorable premium on an insurance. And lastly, transfer. Transfer is to sell the property. These are some of the risk control tools that one has. So risk control tools can either reduce the potential losses or make the losses more predictable, while risk funding tools are ways of funding losses that do occur. So funding examples include transfer of damage of property to a third party, which in this case will be insurance, Thank you for joining us on our principles of risk management. These are some few pointers that one can look out for. Thank you for watching. Good day, good night, and good morning, depending on what time of day you're watching us. Thank you.